Thank you for joining us for this session today on Flowlens CRM MRP. I'm Helen from Invisible Business Solutions, and I'm your integration and support and training partner in Australia. Flowlens is a CRM MRP for equipment manufacturers. It provides an integrated cloud stock MRP, CRM and servicing solution. It's user-friendly and secure and affordable and cost-effective, creating efficiencies for your manufacturing business. We offer expert implementation, help and training here in Australia, supported by the team in Ireland. So Flowlens helps manufacturers, dealers, distributors and assemblers of high-value equipment create an integrated workflow. So what we mean by that is to take inquiries and leads, quotes and orders, stock and job management through to dispatch, invoice and service. Flowlens uses a number of features to achieve that. We have tasks and activities to manage our communication with customers, orders to suppliers, tasks and information that needs to be used for production. We have parts and products, so the key elements of your business, so the items used in manufacture, the actual finished product, and we also have an asset tracking to be able to use that in the servicing features towards the end of the product life cycle. We have customers and supplier records, and we can track and record all information regarding our interactions with our customers and suppliers. And it also has some really great reporting and analysis tools to be able to analyze the business in any way you need. Information is critical to being able to make good decisions, and Flowlens really helps equipment manufacturers achieve that. Of course, we have an integration to Xero and QuickBooks to enable you to streamline your bookkeeping functions. So let's introduce the Flowlens product. I'll jump into a demo in just a second, but just to give you some information on the dashboard, it's on the browser, it works on a tablet and your iPhone. It will also enable you to have customized widgets by user for your tasks, your purchase orders, job cards, sales and activities, and so much more. We also have access to the modules that your users have access to. So one of the features for your subscription is that you can choose users have whole system access. Maybe your sales team obviously only need the CRM functionality. Perhaps your servicing team only really need access to servicing. Obviously, some elements of the business need to see across the board. So as I mentioned before, there are two key foundations to the system: stock and parts that are integral to the system and help you manage everything you buy and sell and manufacture. We include all the item details, what stock's on hand, your supplier price, lead times, movement history, every piece of information you need regarding stock and parts. For the CRM features, we have that in relation to both conversations with customers and suppliers, enabling you to interact inquiries, sales leads, once it becomes a sales order, keep track of the service history, keep track of your task history and interactions and communications and emails, all stored in the system. So anyone who's communicating with the customer has access to the information at any one time. There's also a form builder to help you capture data in relation to customers, to ensure you ask the right questions every time you speak to a customer so that you can manufacture the product to their specific requirements. There's also space to upload additional files and information. So I'll just jump now into my demo file and give you a little bit of an orientation. So if we just jump in here, this is the dashboard. As you can see, I have a number of widgets across it. It shows my task list. I've got a chart on my inquiry source, whether they came via email, Google, website, and those sources are all customizable. I've got an inquiry status chart, ones that have been converted to sales leads, ones that are still open. I've got sales orders, I've got an asset register, I've got my purchase invoice total information, I've got sales invoice history by month, all just on the dashboard, really easy for me to see where I'm at with everything at this point. So then just moving along in the sales process. So we have our company records, and I'll just jump in and show you a customer. So we have ABC Furniture here. In this record, we have an overview of the customer. So we have name, details, account references, their standard payment terms, any notes on them, and a history of activity. We also have an addresses tab. So say they have a couple of delivery addresses and a head office. We store all that information here. We've got a list of the contacts of the people at ABC Furniture. I have a list of the inquiries they've made. We have these tiles across the top too that give you a real easy heads up. This is the ones that have been converted to sales leads. It's still open as an inquiry. How many closed inquiries have we had? How many have I converted to service? And then I have all the other features relating to this company. So how many leads we've had, how many quotes we've got, how many orders. Obviously, if they were a supplier as well, there might be purchase orders. I might have quotes for service to them and from them. I have sales invoices or purchase invoices, depending on whether they're a customer, supplier, or both. Sales credit notes, purchase notes, any assets that are assigned to them. An asset is a product that's been given a serial number. And by creating that track, we can actually manage and maintain the life of that asset. We can also see any tasks we've done in relation to this customer, any interactions we've had with them, any emails we've sent back and forth, any forms and any uploads. So inquiries can come in through your website and can be directed into Flowlens itself. Or we can just add a new inquiry. The action button is on the top right-hand corner. So here we can see it says new inquiry, and it's as straightforward as click on the inquiry. This inquiry is from ABC Furniture. The contact is Jess. She's new at the business, so I'll just add her really quickly. She's Jess ABC. I don't have her email details at the moment. I can add those later. And I can just make a note saying called to inquire about a new box of things. Okay, it's assigned to me. My referral source it was an email, and she's based in Australia. So I'll just create that inquiry right now. So now I've got a new inquiry set up for Jess. This tab is the overview of the inquiry. I can see any tasks assigned to this inquiry, what interactions we've had, any emails. Now, if I go to my email provider and shoot a message over to Jess, I can actually CC or BCC, so she couldn't see that, in this inquiry email address, and it will actually put a copy of the email into the system here. Really great to keep all your communication for your customer inquiry all in one place. So should another member of the invisible team jump into the file here or answer the phone to Jess when she calls, they'd be able to see the interaction I've had with them. If I had any forms, questions and answers set here, they would be here. And I could upload something. So if she'd sent me a specification or requirements list or something like that, I could upload it into the file here. So it's associated with that. Now, as I mentioned before, the action tab is on this far right. I can add this to the quick link so it appears on my dashboard. So I've got a quick link to my inquiries that I'm working on. So I'll just tag that right now. And then I'll go through my action options. So I can edit this inquiry, I can reassign it. So if I wanted to hand it to another member of the team, I can assign it to them. They'll be notified within Flowlens they've been assigned an inquiry, and they'll receive an email as well. And then they can action that accordingly. So I've had a conversation with Jess. She's happy to proceed to have a bit of further detailed conversation. So I can actually convert this to a sales lead at this time. I could mark it as spam, or I could mark it as closed if we were unsuccessful in moving forward. Just at this time, I'll convert it to a sales lead. And what that's done is moved my inquiry from my inquiries list into a sales lead. So it's giving me the opportunity to manage my sales pipeline from beginning to end. So some inquiries might go no further, some move into the sales leads, and then we have the ability to set a number of statuses for our sales lead and provide them with a stage percentage so that how likely we are of success in that sales conversation, so that then we can look at our sales pipeline and see what our future revenue potentially looks like. Within this sales lead, we have a number of pieces of information. We have the overview here. We also have quotations. So once we've created a quote for this lead, it's saved here, and we can create a number of quotes as people consider their options, and then we can decide which one we convert to a sales order when it's successful. We can assign tasks both to myself or any other member of the team at this point, so that we can do that. And then I can also allow for interactions, recording the number of times I speak to Jess, or I send her an email, or we have a meeting, just so that we know the volume of work involved in this sales lead. I can assign any emails to this inquiry, just as I could with the inquiry. Any emails in relation to the inquiry will have moved forward into the sales lead too. And then I've got forms and uploads here as well. So my actions tab over here has now added different features because I'm at a different stage in the process. So I can update my sales stage from just my initial open stage. I can edit the content. So perhaps now I know Jess's email and phone number, I could update that. I could create a new sales quotation. So I'll just jump and do that at this point. So we'll say it's for the box of things, and I'm doing it today, and it's valid for 30 days. We can set multi-currency up within the system. So we just choose which currency we're quoting. As Jess is here in Australia, it's AUD, but should it be in New Zealand or overseas, we could go US or Euro or Sterling or whatever's required. So now I've got a sales quotation open. As you can see, it's created a new number for me, and this is version 1 of the quote for my box of things. I have the overview, so my quote is in draft. It's valid until July. I've got for 30 days. I've got the totals and discounts and margin information available here. So I can add parts and assets to the order. So I can search my products through here and locate a product. I didn't find any, so we'll just jump through to asset register here, and it's boxed collection of things. So I'll just go back and go. Okay, so we'll just add a part as well. And we'll add that item there. Okay, so now I've got that item created. I can create a revision. I can duplicate it in order to revise it. I can download the PDF, or I can go back to the sales lead. So I'll just download the PDF and just give you a quick look at that. So it just, as soon as that's available, I'll jump in and show you. So just straightforward, your business branding, information prepared by, the items on the quote, and a total. We can then either email this from within the system, or we can download it and send it from our own email record. Okay, so we'll go back to our sales quotations. So now my quotations will show you the number of quotes I've got out in the system. So I can see at any point in time what's active, what's in draft, what's been converted to orders, how many we've sent, what's been declined, what's been accepted, and what the total value is. Obviously, always really valuable information for managing the business. So I'll just jump back into my sales lead here. So now you can see I've got my quotation here on that record. If I'd emailed it through to Jess, it would be sitting here on the email. And as I say, you can just copy this email and include it on those records. I can mark the sales lead as 1 now because she chose to accept my quotation. If I'd created a number of quotes along the way, it would let me choose which one I wish to convert into the most successful pricing arrangement. So then we get through to our sales order process. So now in sales orders, I can create a new sales order, which so that it comes through and creates an order. And then from that orders, we've got our pipeline analysis. We can dispatch orders, and we can create commercial invoices if we need those. Now, that's kind of the sales process, but what's core to enabling that is the actual stock and project manufacture of that process. So as I jumped quickly earlier to look at the parts, we have our part list in our file. Obviously, in the real world, that list would be much longer. At definition, the information we have is a part number, the name, a category, default store location, a cost price, a sales price, the quantity we have on hand, how many are reserved, what stock's available, what stock's on order. I can view, edit, and gain information on all of these items right here. So I'll just pick up our one box of things. Now, with our part and stock information, there's some real key features about the quantity or the SKU coding, and the fact that products can be customizable. It's a really great feature that enables us to configure our box of things and include different elements. So, for example, we have two options of tools within our box of things. One, if you choose option 1, it's included in the price. If you choose option 2, there's a price impact. And the same with our paint choice as well. And we can customize whether it's required or not required. So within our product, we might also have component parts of our product, and we'd have the list of what was included there. We'll have a list of everything that's in stock or been created along the way. We also have a list of any items to purchase. So in relation to our box of things, we can have our MRP list for our job cards. We've got our service MRP. We'll have our stock movement. So as products have moved in and out of our system, we can see that movement and those products and who the user was involved in doing that. If our product had been used in a service, which we've got one of them here, we can see that the service is recorded against our box of things, and so are our service jobs. So it really keeps everything end to end together in relation to our product. We also have our purchase orders. So for products that we actually just buy from a supplier, we can create our purchase orders, we can receive them, we can manage those statuses for our purchases along the way. We also have our MRP and stock requirement reports. So what's required for our manufacturing process based on particular suppliers or parts, or for the particular job card that we're working on, or in relation to service, what our MRP requirements are. We can have good receive notes in the system, and obviously we can manage and run a stock take at any point in time to create a stock take to manage our stock on hand. So I'll just come back to managing products. So now we've obviously got all our parts and items set up, and one of the features and elements of our support is to provide you with assistance to customize the settings of the product codes and customers and suppliers. So when we get to job cards, a job card is an indication of the requirement for that job. The MRP will show any product shortages, allow us to issue purchase orders for things that we're short on. We can edit the information on the purchase order, and we can either email that from within the system or outside of that as well. We can use, on delivery of the products, we can use the receive good function, create a goods receive note. We can check that against the invoice we've received from the supplier, and then we can send it across to the bookkeeping software, which creates a draft bill, streamlining your bookkeeping process. On job cards, we can see our items and their bill of materials for the construction of our jobs. So we'll just have a look at our box of things job card. So as you can see now, you're quite familiar with the central feature. We have an overview of the card we're looking at. We have its configuration. We have if there are any child job cards to this product. We have budgeting information, we've got our MRP information, we've got our purchase information, any output assets that were created as a product of this job, any form information we completed, timesheets from the team, if they recorded that when they put together the box of things, the tasks that have been completed, and any uploads. So this job's actually at a closed status. Its target completion date was April. It was actually completed a day later, and it created 3 of our box of things. We didn't actually track our labour cost in this example, but we did track our material spend. And we can also add additional costs if we incurred them in the construction. We can assign stock to this job card. So from our parts, we've got the tools in the store and we had the custom paint in the warehouse. It's giving us our unit cost, the quantity required, the number reserved, and how many might be allocated. And we've got then any additional costs if we'd received those. And then we also get a summary of the recent activity. So you can see when the job card was created, stock was reserved, the job card was started, and when it was completed. So we can track that information all the way along. And again, the actions tab varies significantly depending on the status of the card. So obviously this one's closed. So basically we can just download summary PDF, a detailed PDF, or a stock reservation CSV. And we can also download the job costs if we need to analyze that as well. The job card checklist is customizable and configurable to your business. So we could have features along the way of cut, weld, fold, paint, QA before it's dispatched. Those are entirely customizable to the way your business works. Tasks are also assigned to job cards and allocated to the correct team members to manage the workflow. And these can be checked off as the tasks are completed. When an item that we asset track, so we create a serial number for it so we can track it through the system, because it's usually a final completed product that will be available for servicing later. We assign the serial number to that item at that, and then it will remain with it throughout its life cycle. So then when we've completed the product, we'd complete the jobs card and we'd prepare it for dispatch. And then by dispatching the sales order, we create a dispatch note. So I'll just jump back to the sales and orders here. And we could then dispatch that final product and create an invoice, which would of course sync across to your bookkeeping software. One of the really good features is that we can actually issue a deposit invoice at the outset of the order. So say we require a 50% deposit with order, we can actually send that across to Xero and account for that appropriately at the time. Okay, I know there's a lot of information to take in. The system is really customizable and really user-friendly once we've set it up for your business. The 2 aspects I probably haven't really touched on as yet. We have servicing. So there are service job cards and service quotes. So if you offer ongoing support and maintenance for the equipment that you sell, the servicing solution is actually integrated. I don't think there's anything else on the market in Australia that offers that end-to-end features within one easy to use software. And then finally, we have reports. And this was one of the things I really like about Flowlens is the level of reporting. So we'll just go see all reports. Oh, if I pick. So all of our reports will give us the options. So we can star them to make our favorite reports, tag as our favorite. And we can also then search for reports here. So if I was looking for something that said finance, we can find those nice and easily. And within that, we could see a purchase invoice by month. We can see purchase order and invoicing report. We can see it by line item. We can see sales reports. We can also just analyze the reports in any way we might need to, from both stock management, so for our assets, parts and stock on hand. We can see our outstanding purchase orders. We can do our purchase order cost variance report. We can see that by line item. We can do a stock count report. We can do a stock movement itemized report. We can run reports on our companies and contacts. We've obviously got the financial reports, some marketing ones, product and job card reports, So really, really detailed reporting that will enable you to analyze your business in ways you've never been able to do before, and good information facilitates good decision making. One of the regular feedbacks with Flowlens is that it actually saves so much time in the business and so many inefficiencies, and reporting is key to that element. Once you've run a report too, you can actually use the feature to create a widget, which then brings it straight through onto the dashboard. So, for example, the sales invoice by month report is a report I could go and run, but I can also have it here on the dashboard as a widget, so that I can just, as I log in every day, see my sales by month data by customer. Obviously, that's really cool. So I've covered the servicing feature as well. So finally, to kind of wrap up, Flowlens offers a highly customizable, integrated and user-friendly way to control your sales pipeline with production and servicing and real-time live reporting. We are proud to be an implementation partner in Australia, and we offer implementation training and support to ease that transition, because at the end of the day, adopting software is not just about the software, it's about the people and process as well. So if you have any more queries, please scroll on down our page and submit a request, or feel free to contact me directly via the website. I look forward to assisting you in your system implementation journey. Thanks for joining us today.